time to fuel your business success. Welcome to Harmonious at Lunch. We're bringing you bite-sized advice and expert conversations to drive clarity and growth 5 days a week. Make sure you join our Facebook group at humanopt.com/lunch, where listeners like you and our guests hang out so we can find harmony in business together. If you're building a business, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
How do you build your company without spending $1 bajillion on ads? I have no idea, but I think our guest is going to help us with that today. We're going to talk about email and SMS marketing and how you can implement that in your business if you're not already. And if you are, I'm sure we're going to dive into how to maximize that for the best results possible. Nikita Vakrushev, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here.
I'm excited to be on, Brandon. You got me hyped up with that intro music. I was just jamming along to it.
Right? Isn't it good?
Yeah.
Man, I love that. I love that music. I'm glad you like it too. But let's get hyped up about email and SMS. I'm sure that's what just drives you every single morning. That's what I get out of bed thinking about. Like, how am I going to optimize my email campaigns today? Okay, I lied a little bit, but that's important because I know a lot of our clients in particular, seems like we work with a similar audience. They're not really leveraging email and SMS marketing to grow their business. They are relying heavily on ads, referrals, word of mouth, all that sort of traditional stuff, if you will. But email's not dead by any means. So you've figured it out. You've cracked the code. What have you figured out about email and SMS marketing?
Yeah. Not only is it the first thing I think of when I wake up, it's also the last thing I think of before I go to bed. So sometimes it keeps me up at night.
Love. Look at you go.
Yeah. I mean, love the game. I'm married to it. But all jokes aside, it is one of the most underutilized channels by far in the marketing space. It's one of those things where it's kind of like SEO, where people know about it, but no one really wants to dive deep into the details of it. Almost like an ugly stepchild in the basement where you don't really want, it's like, it's there, it's set up, I don't want to worry about it. The sexy, flashy thing is like TikTok or like TikTok Shop, Facebook, Instagram ads, Google ads, like stuff that can almost generate an immediate return on investment with, like, I put $100 in Google ads, I'll get maybe a customer. But the thing is, it's the same way with email marketing if treated correctly. So having the right strategy in place, having the right content in place to nurture everyone that's coming into your email list, whether it's window shoppers on your website or whether it's past customers and nurturing those relationships, all of that can be done all under like one roof with email and SMS marketing.
Yeah, I was going to say, as you were talking, I mean, I get it from the standpoint of instant gratification, so to speak, like running ads and you get clicks immediately. But outside of building an email list or having a list of contacts, email could be the same thing. I mean, if you do it correctly, you could absolutely generate sales immediately. So yeah, I definitely don't want people to overlook it or think it's not as flashy. I want to understand how it could be equally, if not more flashy than those other channels. So let's dive in. I mean, all of our audience members, I'm confident, I don't know all of them, but I'm confident they have some sort of a CRM. They're collecting emails, whether they're using it or not, totally different story. But we have access to our customers or people who have been interested in working with us. What's the first sort of analysis or I'll use the word audit that we should do to understand where to begin with email marketing?
Yeah, fantastic question. I think we should go, it's almost like reverse engineering from a purchase of like, what are the steps that a customer took in order to convert? When you reverse engineer that, the first step is usually the website. So when someone visits the website, now for us, we want to get that person onto our list as soon as possible. That means making sure that we actually have their data collected. So that comes in the form of a pop-up or some sort of lead gen capture. And there's a few ways that you can go about this. You can have it pop up on your screen, whether it's immediately. I don't recommend doing that because that will piss people off. I'd recommend having it pop up when someone is on the website for, let's say, 5 to 10 seconds, maybe even more. I would look at your Google Analytics and see exactly like how many seconds or how many minutes someone stays on and try to hit like that middle mark right before they leave. And not right before they leave, but like right after they're on the website and then right before they leave. Or you can do it on a percentage of scroll. So if someone scrolls down your website 50 or 60% of the way, you can have it pop up. That is more contextual because then it's not annoying someone. I personally get annoyed by pop-ups, so you want to make them as less annoying as possible. And when you want to have the offer breakdown on like why would someone actually sign up to my email list, it purely comes down to what is valuable for the end customer. So business to business is completely different than business to consumer. So for business to consumer, it's typically something like free shipping or like a free audit or a free installation or anything that is anything that gives more value to the customer for the amount of money that they're paying for. It could be 10% off. It could be a buy one, get one. For B2B, it's more along the lines of like a lead magnet or any sort of information that helps them understand what your business does more. So for example, like if we were to set up a pop-up on Aspect's website, it would be something like the 10 email hacks that you need to know right now. And it could be just like a simple one sheet PDF that if you put in your phone number, your phone number, your email, you get it immediately in your inbox. So that's where you'd want to start, is with that lead capture. And then we can go forward with the actual nurture and the automations behind that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about next. So you have to have a way to capture leads that are not just from your customer base, people who are even potentially interested in working with you. So let's say we have that, or at least if you don't, now you know to set that up. But we have that, which leads to the nurturing sequence. Can you give me the sort of the high level of, roughly speaking, what types of different email campaigns should a business have set up alongside of the nurturing campaign? And then I want to dive back into that. But broadly speaking, what are the different campaigns that should be set up in a business?
Yes, I want to correct you a little bit, because it in this case, it would be more so automations rather than campaigns. So we'd want to have specific.
My fault.
You're good, man. I just wanted to clarify that for the audience. Yeah, so there's a difference between campaigns and automations. Campaigns are one-off sends. So if you have a list of 1,000 people, you send out a campaign, it gets delivered to those 1,000 people whenever you schedule it out. Automations, as people trickle through your funnel, whether it's after they purchase, if they abandon a cart or abandon a sales call, or whether they go through that pop-up that we initially talked about. So we want to have a few automations that follow up and check in with people along the buyer journey. So the best example I can offer you is, let's say you're shopping for, let's say, a brand new mouse for your office. You're on Logitech's website, you get added to that like you submit your email for a pop-up, get 10% off. We want to have a first impression automation immediately fire. And that is, we call this a welcome flow in the e-com space and basically, I guess, marketing space, but a welcome flow that leaves that first impression. Now, let's say you're shopping, you add it to your cart, and then you bounce off the website. Then we would have an abandoned cart automation. So it follows up with you like, hey, you added this to cart. Do you want to continue purchasing? Then, okay, cool. You clicked on that email. You said you wanted to go back to cart. You finished checking out. And then after that, after you purchase, you would want to have a post-purchase automation. So similar to how an agency would give you an onboarding form or like some sort of onboarding information after you close a deal, you'd want to have some sort of confirmation of like, hey, thank you for purchasing. Here's more information on what's to come with your order. So those are like the 3 core automations. There's probably like 17 that we set up for our customers on different edge cases and specific use cases. But those 3 are the most crucial ones you need to set up for people that are just visiting, people that are warm but are abandoning, and then people that have already bought.
Okay, I like that. That makes sense. So let's go back to the nurturing automation. I'm sure, well, I know it's going to vary by industry and business, and there's going to be nuances and complexities to it. But again, broadly speaking, just so we can get an idea, is there a sweet spot of how many emails you should send in a certain time period to really maximize the effectiveness and the likelihood that they buy something? How often do we want to touch people, so to speak? And what are the best practices of this nurturing campaign? Because if you get it right, I mean, you're going to massively increase your sales. If you get it wrong, you're just going to lose out on the people that you maybe even paid to come to your website. So you definitely want to spend time to get it right. What does that look like for you in working with your clients?
Yeah, fantastic question. It really comes down to the sales cycle of your industry. So our main expertise is in e-commerce and e-commerce email marketing. So for us, the sales cycle is very short. If you're buying a mouse that's $100, like you're not really going to scratch your head at that. It's like, okay, cool. I want to buy a mouse. I'm going to go buy a mouse. So for us, the sales cycle could be anywhere from like a day to a month. Whereas in B2B, that sales cycle could be a month to 12 months. So that nurture cycle is purely dependent on how long it actually takes to get you to convert a customer. So for us in ecom, we try to have a balance of anywhere between 4 to 5 emails within that nurture automation. You can expand that to 12 if you have a longer sales cycle. And the timing behind the actual specific emails when they go out, first one, immediately. As soon as someone's on the list, you want to get that first one in, first impression. And then after that, we typically time it anywhere every 4 to 5 days on the ecom side. On the B2B side, it could be a little bit longer. So once every week or once every 2 weeks, just to keep top of mind and having those impressions hit people's inbox. Because another thing that most people don't understand is emails are free impressions. You already have their email. You can communicate with them at any point. And it's just another impression and another trust building factor with someone that will purchase or is likely to purchase. So within that 4 to 5 automation or 4 to 5 email automation, have it spaced out between how long it would take to convert someone. It doesn't have to be like one email every 2 months. That may be too long, and maybe people will forget about who you are at this point. There's so much information that we take in on a daily basis that things get lost, things get buried. So at most, once every 3 weeks, I would recommend to send out like an email in that welcome automation.
All right, that makes sense. And as far as what you're sending in them, it is called a nurturing campaign. So right. Is there a sweet spot of, every 3 emails that nurture or educate, then we send a sales email or a call to action email? How do you balance that? And I'll just keep reiterating this so I don't get hate comments. Like, I know it's going to vary. Like, I get that. We both get that here, but I'm looking for best practices. You don't want to be too spammy and front load it with buy my stuff. And you don't want to be so laid back that it's like, I'm going to educate you on the 59 best ways to use your mouse, and I never ask you to buy my mouse. So how do you balance that?
Yeah. In our case, we try to follow a rule of 80-20. So you kind of had that, you hit the nail on the head there, where every 5 emails, 1 out of those is sales focused. So the first 4 in our welcome automation are typically like an introduction, like, hey, welcome to the newsletter, or like welcome to the email fam, whatever it might be. It goes over a gist of who we are as a business, who we serve, what kind of clients or what kind of customers we serve. Like, for example, like with a mouse, it could be something like we serve like professionals or gamers or whoever the niche is. The next few emails are mainly content driven around either pain points of your ideal target customer, information that helps them make a buying decision, information about your business and the things that differentiate your business from your competition. So for example, it could be like, this mouse has like 15 different buttons on it. So it's super good on productivity. It helps, like, here's a study that we did where someone using our mouse is 5 times more productive than, I don't know, like an Apple mouse. You could also go over past customer case studies or past customer experience and testimonials. That kind of information to a potential customer helps them make a better buying decision, because they understand like, oh, this company's been around for 100 years and they've developed this mouse because of blah, 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 blah. Or, oh, these 10 other people loved how this mouse worked and it like made them more productive. Like, I can see myself being more productive using this mouse. So all those kinds of emails just help build the case of like, why not go with this brand or why not go with this service when they're shopping around for that service or product.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So before we wrap this episode up, I want to take a look at maybe some, I'll call them horror stories, or we'll be a little bit more gentle, pitfalls that people usually fall into. So either clients that you worked with before they started working with you, or just in general, what are the most common things you see people just get really wrong with email campaigns?
I think they leave the most important information for last, which is a little counterintuitive in my opinion. Do you know the term or phrase called above the fold?
Yes.
Okay. So it's usually the first thing that you see when you load up a website. So a lot of the times people don't utilize that real estate as much, or they don't put as much importance as they should onto that real estate, where they put all their buttons and call to actions and coupon codes way deep down in the email, where most people honestly don't even reach. So everyone that opens up your email, they're going to see that first content paint, and they're going to see all the information that's there. So it's important to utilize that above the fold section as best as you can to include any important call outs or headlines. So if you're having a sale or if you're having a promotion, have the promotion details right there, easy for people to read. If you have a coupon code or some sort of offer code, have that be in the above the fold section. And if there's a website that they need to click or some sort of call to action or action that they need to take, have that be in the above the fold section. So that way it's stupid easy for someone to see what's going on, see what the offer is, see the coupon code, click, I want this thing, and then make that purchase or contact you or book a call or whatever the offer ends up being.
That is interesting. I actually am surprised by that, because you would think logically, like, you want to build up to that, right? But like you're saying, no one's, or the majority of people are not even going to get there. So it's just wasted. That's a good tip. I like that.
Yeah. A lot of wasted real estate is spent on like building the case on like what you're doing. It's like, oh, we're running a 4th of July sale, and like this is the reason why, because American Heritage and blah, 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 blah. We're having this sale, click the button, and already it's like you have to scroll like 3 times to get to the button to do it. So yeah.
And realistically, if you're in that inbox, you've earned the right to be able to promote this thing, whatever it is you're sending. So why not start with it?
Exactly.
Makes sense. Yeah. I like this, Nikita. This is awesome. So tell me, we're going to wrap this episode up, but you have an offer for the listeners, an audit. Tell me about that, and I'll put it on the screen where they can go find it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to see exactly where the money is being left on the table when it comes to running your own email marketing, we do a comprehensive audit going through exactly not only the nurture automation that we talked about today, but everything else that's going on in your email system, and what is the potential and the potential revenue that you could be making with a proper system set up. So we dive into your audience, your content, the design, the copy, the deliverability, the segmentation, all of it and everything in between, just going through it, diving deep and giving you the best information possible on how you could be utilizing email way better.
I love it. That's incredibly valuable. So go check that out wherever you're watching, listening. It's on the screen. It's also in the show notes down below. Nikita, thanks so much for being here.
Appreciate you. Thanks again for having me.
And wherever you're watching, listening, tuning in, I appreciate you being here. I hope you learned something from this. Go implement something that we talked about. Do a self-audit, at least on your own email sequence. And then, of course, you have the resource here. But don't overlook this part of running your business, and especially your marketing. If we haven't convinced you yet, well, go outside of the rock you're living under and re-listen to this episode. But we'll see you on the next episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Thanks for being here.
Another episode of Harmonious at Lunch in the books. I hope this episode made you think and you grabbed some actionable ideas to propel your business. Don't forget to like, comment your takeaways, and subscribe wherever you're listening so we can help more entrepreneurs just like you achieve harmony in their life and business. For cutting-edge tools that bring clarity to your people and processes, check out humanoff.com to download our app today. See you next time.